Toward the start of the film, we are shown the hour of 1944. We see a major conflict going on. The Nazi armed forces were taking a man with them. His face was covered with a material and the man's companion recently continued to take him out. He thinks, where is this military taking my companion? At the point when the material is eliminated from the man's face, it is observed that he is Indiana Jones. The Nazis were taking a ton of old-fashioned things here after the conflict. They had found such things in the very place that are not seen as any place on the planet. Indiana had likewise come here looking for an exceptional blade. Presently, a Nazi's companion, whose name is Waller, sees him and places him in his sack. Around then, there was a strong blast wherein Indiana got away and goes out. Furthermore, he sat in a vehicle. Two Nazi troopers likewise come and sit in a similar vehicle. He feels that his driver was sitting in front. That is the reason Indiana says nothing and simply continues to drive. In any case, partially though, the Nazi armed force figure out that it was Indiana who was taking off from them. Presently, when they find out, Indiana has slipped out from the moving vehicle. And keeping in mind that killing a few fighters, he gets on a train. In that train, really, every one of the Nazi warriors were taking classical things from this spot. He arrives at the train box where that valuable blade was. Yet, when he takes a gander at it, he figures out that it isn't genuine, however it is phony. This was at that point known to the Nazi confident Waller. That is the reason he purposely left it there. Waller had an over-the-top expensive machine here, which was made by researcher. In light of this, he would likewise time travel. Presently, everything are additionally given to Waller by Indiana's companion, whom he had gotten. There, Indiana has a great deal of collectible valuable things. Then he comes from that point and sits in another case so no Nazi warrior can remember him. Indiana likewise takes a gander at his companion there, who has attached to a seat. He disposes of him and takes him with him. In the following box, Indiana meets Waller, who has a gazette. He punches him and takes the gazette, which could be likewise time travel. Then the two of them run on this train since they might have been trapped in the train. Be that as it may, the Nazis needed to get them in any case. That is the reason they shoot a bomb before the train. At the point when Indiana sees this, he goes into the trench with his companion. That is the reason the two of them were saved. Presently, they figure out that the Nazis had not dropped the bomb on the train. It was crafted by the American. Now that time, travel gazette was likewise in their control. That is, Indiana could not get that gazette. Presently, that story comes in 1969. In 1969, Indiana Jones had grown up. We are shown his school, where he was a teacher who used to discuss things ever. He poses an inquiry to every one of his understudy. Every one of the understudies offers some unexpected response to his inquiry. Here was a young lady named Helena who offered the right response to every one of the inquiries of Indiana. Hearing this, he was extremely blissful. He tells everybody the name of a researcher here. He says that he has made a ton of things like weapons, a ton of gadgets, and so on, which can likewise time travel. At any rate, Indiana leaves the school now. Helena was likewise behind them. Behind Helena, a CIA specialist, a great deal of hooligans in and in. There was likewise an American specialist among them. There is likewise a Waller there, whom we saw toward the start of the story, who needed to take classical things. This American specialist used to work for Waller. Waller concealed his character from everybody here that he is a Nazi. He used to work for her with NASA. The scene movements to Helena and Indiana. Helena lets Indiana know that I am concentrating on archaic exploration. That is, I am extremely attached to knowing numerous things ever. I have perused a ton about numerous things. She likewise discusses a similar gazette here, which was the time travel gazette. Helena says that now I need to track down that gazette, that deal. Hearing this, Indiana is somewhat disheartened. They presently take Helena with them to the library of similar school where they used to review. They take out their gazette and show it to Helena, since as of recently, Indiana had protected it with them. This is half of it. A big part of it was broken by the researcher when he made it. Since that researcher realized that it can likewise be utilized for wrong things, furthermore, at times it will likewise go into some unexpected hand. Then at that point, certain individuals came there who were CIA specialists. They likewise had similar CIA specialists whom we saw following Helena. They figure out that Indiana has that time travel gazette. They take shoot at them. Then Helena took off with that gazette. Indiana is gotten and placed it in a van and asks her, let me know where could the gazette be. Then at that point, her van stopped ahead. There was a great deal of hurry forward. Today Neil Armstrong was going to venture out of the moon. That is the reason his van is halted. Presently, every one of them chose to take Indiana by walking. Yet Indiana tricked them and took off from that point. They get on a pony from here, and afterward they came and sat on the train and left from that point. Later on, they meet their companion. Since she has come to their companion, her companions tell her that Helena is a cheat. She takes collectibles and uncommon things and sells them on the lookout. Furthermore, she has likewise invested a great deal of energy in prison. Hearing this, Indiana says that I should see as her, since she has a costly deal gadget. Presently, Indiana's companions make every one of the plans for her. They likewise got her phony visa made. Indiana's companions give her their cab, which was exceptionally old. They say that I recall each experience finished with you. The following day, when Indiana arrived at an inn searching for her, Helena was selling that deal. At the point when they go on to stop her, Helena's associates stop them, which was additionally her companion. They push ahead waving their hands. Simultaneously, Indiana likewise sees Walt. He had pre-received her that she is a Nazi, since he remembered everything. He takes a gander at her and says, Helena, you can't sell off this deal. Then at that point, a battle breaks over here. Everybody was behind that gadget. At last, that gadget comes into Helena's hand. She tosses it toward her partner. Then at that point, Walt takes that gadget from her hand and removes it. Helena and Indiana both come out running. In any case, by then Walt had gone from that point. Indiana takes an autocart and follows them. In any case, they had gone. Walt is shown, to whom the CIA specialist was saying that, as a result of you, I don't have the foggiest idea the number of blameless individuals that lost their lives. That is behind Indiana. The CIA specialists who are lying were all with Walt. Walt kills that specialist. What's more, say that I am a Nazi. I was a Nazi and I will constantly be a Nazi. As of recently, he was living here by concealing his genuine character. On the opposite side, Indiana goes to his companion who had a boat, who is a mariner. He lets him know that, look, I need to go into the ocean. I really want your assistance for this. Helena and her partner wire with him. Helena then inquires as to whether you have an opportunity to travel once more into the past, then what will you do first? That's what he says in the event that I get an opportunity, and most importantly, I will save my children who passed on in a mishap. Saying this, he leaves there miserable. Presently, the following day, he begins his excursion in the ocean. He needed to find the boat of the Nazi, which was suffocated and was obliterated. Many caskets were lying there, which are the place with those individuals who had suffocated in the boat and kicked the bucket. Then a whalefish comes to them. Indiana drives him away from that point. He finds a container in that boat, which he takes and fires coming up. Up in Indiana's boat, the man of the whaler had caught it. When they conquered that crate, they take that case. There was a major stone on which something bizarre was composed. Presently, he advised Helena to fall on that stone, since she was a classicist. Here she plays her stand by telling her beginning and end wrong. She makes a bomb impact. Also presently exploiting this, Indiana, Helena and her aide go to another boat. Indiana had additionally taken that stone with him. At the point when he sees that the stone is exceptionally weighty, it says it's ablaze. He felt that perhaps there should be something inside it. At the point when he sets it ablaze, a gold safeguard emerges from it, on which it was composed that where is the other piece of the deal. He likewise learns about where that researchers were covered, the person who made the time machine. Furthermore, the other part was to be tracked down there. Presently, them three to go a similar spot where Helena's right hand was caught. Indiana was stressed over her. He likewise attempts to follow them, yet can't get them. On the way, Helena lets Indiana know that my associate is exceptionally cunning. You don't trace over him. He knows how to escape inconvenience. Presently, when these two arrived at the cabin, there were at that point the man of the hatter there. Wood gas was left in that cabin. Indiana goes for it. The best approach ahead was composed on the gold safeguard they had got. Presently pushing ahead, they find them in a streamy waterway in the cabin, which they cross from the extension. There were likewise the man of the hatter behind them. Going on, Indiana and Helena see the burial ground of the researcher. At the point when they eliminated that stone, there was his whole skeleton there. There they additionally found the other piece of the similar cassette, which made Indiana exceptionally cheerful. Helena takes a gander at the photos made there, which were of the present time. There were photos of a plane and a cloak made there, which shocked her a ton. She was figuring how might anybody be aware of these things around then. She likewise takes a gander at the clock made on a similar research skeleton, which was of the approaching time. She checks out at it and says that these things is very amazing. The clock they had tied, this innovation has not as yet even come. Helena comprehends what here the researchers are screwing with time. They realize time travel. Then Indiana likewise hears this and expresses that everything are valid. Then at that point, the kettle comes there, which says that the researchers were really off base. Time travel is conceivable. Presently, he takes the other piece of that gadget from them. Also simultaneously, the researcher who tied the clock in his grips takes it on that gadget, so it began working. Helena's eye is likewise brought here, who goes after the evaporator. That is the point at which the slums began terminating there. In this, Indiana was additionally harmed. He tells Helena, "Look, you go, your life might be at serious risk." Presently, Helena and the right hand have here. The heater and his men took Indiana with them. They were all going to the air terminal. On the way, the hater lets Indiana know that I have found where I can go in time. Presently, I have a gadget as well. I am not terrified of anything. Then again, Helena was following him with her partner. She was watching him furtively. She shows her colleague a plane. According to she, check it out. Will you drive it? She says, okay, I will attempt. Presently, Helena gets on the evaporator plane with the assistance of a bicycle. His right hand was additionally returning with the plane. The cattle had found where he would go in time. We see that there is a splendid light overhead and the boat goes into the light. Helena's associate's plane was likewise behind. That is, every one of them had gone in the opportunity and arrived back in the time. Their plane gains out of influence in the light of the fact that at the time they had gone, there was a conflict going on. Also, there was demolition all over the place. Presently, Helena attempts to stop that plane, yet it was white. That is the reason Helena likewise swings from the plane. Indiana comes and saves him. Yet, all of a sudden, both had fallen. So his parachute opens and both are saved. There we additionally see those researchers who made this time travel machine. They were all the while sitting and finish it. That is, this time was behind. Around then, the time travel machine was not made. They presently see that plane falling as well, in which there was an evaporator. That plane had totally fallen and been obliterated. Here the researcher come and eliminate the cloak from the cattle stand which they had restricted. That is what we found in the present, on the hand of their designer. Presently, Indiana tells Helena here. This was the arrangement of the researcher. He had set his deal so that, assuming somebody involved that deal from now on, he would arrive at a similar spot where he used to remain. Also look this accurate. I need to remain here perpetually now. I simply need to use whatever might remain of my life here. That is the point at which the researcher come to him. They give the cloak and the deal to Indiana. They advise him to take it with him in his time. Indiana says no. I would rather not go any place from here at this point. That is when Helena says, you have come here by time travel. Assuming you stay here, issues can emerge for us. That is the reason you need to accompany me. That is the point at which he hits a hard punch all over, which makes Indiana oblivious. At the point he wakes up, he is in his reality. That is, in his time. Present, in his certain time, a similar cloak and time travel machine was lying with him, from which he had gone 2000 years back. That is where Helena comes and says, I realize you are separated from everyone else. That is the point at which he calls her better half there, who had left her previously. They were all exceptionally cheerful. Furthermore, with this, the tale of this film likewise finishes here.